Okay, these are some of my Jasper that I tumbled, and so I'm going to give a short speech on them. And these also I tumbled with them, and I'll explain about those because people sometimes wonder why their rocks don't polish that well. But anyway, just to show you a few of them. You know, they're not perfect. You know, most of these, like a professional, wouldn't tumble because they have voids and rough spots in some of them. But also, a lot of people actually do like the rocks to still look like rocks, not just chunks of plastic. So if you just like them to look like pure plastic, well, those are the people that have to special order the agates and, you know, go through the tedious procedure, and then they don't really end up looking like rocks. So anyway, this Jasper is volcanic, like andesite rhyolite. So in other words, the composition of it already was highly silica. And that's what agate is, it's silicon dioxide. And so then over millions of years, the Jasper kind of fully agatized. That's what it is. Here's a cool one. Okay, now this one here, I'm sorry, but it was the only one. You know, and believe me, I looked for a period of days, but you know, they're not there. They're not there. Now, see, this one is pretty rough and got voids in it. There's a cool one. You know, so when I tumbled these, I just wanted to see what the Jasper looked like tumbled. See, the end there is kind of rough. So a lot of this Jasper in that area is only partially agatized. So you have all shades of gray. You know, so agates don't just suddenly appear. You know, they form and stuff becomes agatized, like petrified wood. Petrified wood is a good example. You don't have a piece of wood one day and you wake up the next day and it instantly has turned into agate. You know, petrified wood. It's a process, and so some petrified wood is half and half. You know, it's some of it still is wood. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to show some that came from a different area that I tumbled, and they didn't fully tumble because they're not really pure agate. Okay, so this is the part where people wonder why their rocks don't polish that well. Well, these are partially agatized. This is from Shinarump conglomerate, 230 million years old. So, see, they still are they have a feeling like they're still sandy. Now, these were polished along with these. I just took these out. Now, normally you cull these out before the final polish. Otherwise, the other rocks, it kind of roughs them up. It keeps them from polishing all the way. So the way to spot your rocks that you're going to tumble is if they feel sandy with your fingernail, you're wasting your time. Now see how these some of them partially polished, and sometimes they polish on the flats because of the grain structure. Now see this? You see how that polish there on that face? That's because the grain structure is sideways, so that's shiny, but this is like looking at the end grain of wood. And so the crystals there are, well, just like I said, like looking at the end grain of wood. And so those don't polish. That's how sometimes you see that effect. Now, if this was pure agate, well, then it would polish. All of it would polish. But anyway, these are examples right here. See how they look dull, they look sandy, and they feel sandy. And so when you pick up the rocks or you see them and you suspect that they don't feel like glass, you know, like this, you go like this, you pick these up like this one. Okay, this one is not tumbled. See, that's not tumbled, but see how it's waxy and shiny like glass? Well, that will tumble and that won't mess up your other rocks. But these here that feel sandy and gritty, don't tumble them, or just throw them in to rough out the others. But you got to cull them out before the final polish. That's really what you do now. These I went ahead and chanced it. I went ahead and put them in for the final polish, hoping for the best. But as you could see, they're hard. They're a little polished, but not much. And so that roughness, it does dull up these other ones. But these still turned out pretty good. The thing is, I'm not worried about trying to get absolutely... let me get some real agates. Okay, now these are Oregon Beach agates. See? Those are Oregon Beach real agates. Those are the ones that they do come out like pieces of plastic. See? So, in other words, this Jasper is like 80% of the way agatized compared to the Oregon Beach agates. There you go. Sorry this got so long. I can't think of anything else.